Hello everybody, welcome back. So we continue to read Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1, text 4. Atra Shura Maheshvasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha. So remember from last time, previous episode, so Dronacharya was a teacher of fighting and military art for the 5 Pandavas and many other great warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He was on the side of Duryodhana. He was fighting against the 5 Pandavas. So at this time, Duryodhana is talking to the chief commander, who was Dronacharya. And he says in text 4, "Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virata and Drupada." Purport. Even though Drishtadyumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory, because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared the others with them. So Duryodhana made a case in the previous text, telling Dronacharya that on the other side he has to find Drishtadyumna, who was supposed to kill him by the providence. So he is also now making the case that there are many other heroic bowmen and other fighters on the side of Pandavas, who are all equal in strength to Arjuna, to whom the Bhagavad Gita will be spoken, and also to Bhima. Bhima was as strong as 10,000 elephants, very powerful warrior. So he's saying that even if Drishtadyumna doesn't kill Dronacharya, it'll be someone else, because there are so many great fighters. So you can sense he's really concerned. Duryodhana is concerned about whether they're gonna win the battle or not. Let's see what he says next. Text 5. Drishtaketushcha kitanam kashirajascha viryavan Purujit Kuntibojascha Shaibayascha Narapungavam. There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kuntiboja, and Shaibya. So he's continuing to tell who is on the other side. To fight against someone, you have to know the strength of someone else, right? To win. Text 6. Yudamanyuscha vikranta utama ujascha viryavan sobhadro dropadeyascha sarva eva maharatha. There are the mighty Yudamanyu, the very powerful Uttama Uja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. So many great warriors were involved in this battle, you can see. He's naming them specifically, although there were millions and millions of other warriors, he is naming specifically a dangerous one, the most powerful bowman. Text 7. Asmakam tu vishishtaye tan niboda dvijotamam nayaka mama sainyasya samgyartham tan bravimiti. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So now he's informing Dronacharya, who is fighting on our side. We still have a chance, kind of idea. Text 8. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jaya Ashvathama Vikarnascha Somadati Stathaivacha. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashvathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Burishrava, who are always victorious in battle. So let's read purport, and then I will discuss this. Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana. Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya. And Saumadati, or Burishava, is the son of the king of the Bahlikas. Karna is the half-brother of Arjuna, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. So, yeah, this is a great personalities. Don't get overwhelmed by all these different names that you hear, because there is such a great history behind it. As I said before, Bhagavad Gita is a really, really small part of Mahabharata, yet it is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. Mahabharata is the history of India, taking us back to like 6 or even more 1,000 years ago. So a few names Duryodhana mentions. These heroes that he mentions, they would never lose the battle. So he's kind of saying, like, although there are many heroes on the other side, on our side there is also heroes who never lost the battle, who are always victorious. So we have a chance, we have a really good chance, you know. If you have warriors who won 100% of battles on your team, then guess what? It's likely that you're also gonna win that battle. So he's trying to boost his self-esteem, saying like, we have a chance. So yeah, few names. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, so just very simple. Dhritarashtra had many sons, one of them was Duryodhana, and Vikarna was another son. Ashwathama was the son of Dronacharya. Remember, Dronacharya is a Brahmana commander-in-chief. He taught everyone else, or many other fighters, the military art, and some other warriors. Text 9. Anyecha bhavashuram madarte tyakta jivita nana shastra praharana sarve yuta visharada. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Purport. As far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, are all determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. So see, Prabhupada, he knew very well the history of Mahabharata and what actually happened, so he can tell us some extra names who was there. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above-mentioned combined strength of his friends. So there is some false beliefs created by Duryodhana. He's trying to assure, he comes to his commander-in-chief and he says, look, you know, there are many great fighters on the other side, but look, we still have warriors who never lost the battle, so I'm sure we're gonna win. But because he was, as mentioned here by Prabhupada, because he was sinful and he was actually a moral person, in the sense that he committed a lot of mistakes and sinful activities, they were gonna lose the battle because of that. And because everyone else, doesn't matter how virtuous they were, doesn't matter if they've never lost the battle, because they took a side of Duryodhana, of a sinful man, they were gonna lose the battle as well. So some spoilers for you, but this book is not about the war that is happening outside, it's rather the war that is happening within ourselves. So that is, internal war is more important. That's what I have to say. So external war is there. It was a historical fact. You can check in the history of India. This war happened in battle in the Kurukshetra. You could still go to that place. But what was more important is the internal war that Arjuna had to battle. And Krishna helps him to battle that internal war. Text 10. Aparyaptam tat asmakam balam bhishma birakshitam, paryaptam tvidam etisham, balam bhima birakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Purport. Herein, an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general, grandfather Bhishma. Very interesting personality. He is one of the greatest personalities in the whole world, and actually in the whole universe, grandfather Bhishma. Bhishma, he was a king, but he took a vow of celibacy, which was never known for the kings. If you're a monk, you can take a vow of celibacy, but Bhishma, being the king of the whole world, he took a vow of celibacy, and yeah, that's why he was the most powerful warrior on the battlefield. So Bhishma, he, for certain reasons that I won't go into detail right now, he had to be on the side of Duryodhana. But nevertheless, he was not sinful. He was very virtuous. He was a great personality. Yeah. Anyway, that's why Duryodhana is saying, "Look, Bhishma is on our side. Our grandfather is on our side," and he, that just, he can defeat the whole army by himself. That's how powerful Bhishma was. Then Prabhupada continues in his commentary. On the other hand, the forces of the Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general Bhima, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. So Bhima is one of the brothers of Pandavas. So Bhishma is the brother of Arjuna. Very strong, but he was like a fig compared to Bhima was like a fig compared to Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at that time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. So logically speaking, Duryodhana was right. Everything was on his side. All these great warriors who never lost a battle, Bhishma, grandfather, who could single-handedly destroy the whole army, that they were fighting against, Pandavas and their friends and other military men. So Duryodhana was kind of, he was puffed up that he would win the battle. But he was also envious of Bhima in the sense that if anyone was going to kill Duryodhana, he felt like Bhima, one of the Pandu brothers, was going to kill him. Text 11. Ayanishu cha sarvishu yatha bhagama vasthita bhishmamava birachantu bhavanta sarva evahi. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Purport. Duryodhana, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Deva was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break their phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife, Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice, while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performances. Interesting, right? What are these gambling performances? What is Prabhupada talking here? Some interesting pastimes of Draupadi, the wife of Arjuna, being undressed in the assembly of great generals. What happened there, right? So here you can see that Bhishma Deva was the greatest warrior. Nevertheless, he was old man. Still, he was powerful to kill the whole army. But Duryodhana just told everyone else, you just have to protect Bhishma Dev and we'll be victorious. So the whole politics that happened before, he refers to that history, saying that, remember in the past, we undressed Draupadi and even doing this thing, very sinful activity, Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya, because they are on my side, they didn't say anything. So you guys shouldn't be worried, Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya, they're on my side. They will fight until they die. Basically, that's it for today. I will tell you about this pastime in the next episode, what actually happened, because it requires some time to explain. But yeah, we're just setting a scene and observing the armies on Kurukshetra. This is happening just before the fight, before everything is unleashed. So thank you so much for watching. Please ask your questions in the comments below, give us a like, subscribe to the Mantra College channel, and I will see you in the next episode. Hare Krishna.